it's clear to me that Jews were targeted during the curfew. It wasn't every night per se, but it was 5 months. And in that 5 months, there were definitely days that it was very clear that the Outremont community, the Hasidic community, was targeted. I know that because I was there. A normal night, I grew up there. There's barely any cops in that area. It's a safe neighborhood. They don't come around. There's been issues with car theft for months there. And guess what? The cops don't show up most of the time. They're not there. They don't care. But when it was curfew, they were there. And when they came, it was clearly targeted. They came, they sat in front of synagogues, 10, 15 police cars sometimes, waited for Jews. It's very targeted. And the numbers don't lie either. The numbers show that Outremont was the most ticketed neighborhood in all of Montreal when it came to the curfew. The CBC did a story on that. And we also, I rewrote that article and showed it when it happened. It's clear that it was targeted. And that night particularly, I was able to film Jews being stopped while non-Jews were just let go. And again, I said it in that video, I believe it. I believe everyone should be let go. But when it's a clear targeting, I'm going to call it out.
So, Alexa for Ribbon News, and we are the 3rd of February. I'm in the municipal court for the continuing of the airing of Mr. Polak case. Same if Yankee did wrote to the SPVM and did all the steps for being legally outside, reporting as a journalist, as what he is, a journalist reporting on curfew. He did receive multiple tickets.
Right.
Okay, so you have to check your IDs, I have to check your papers. Everything's okay?
Perfect, thank you.
So for the people who don't remember, Mr. Polak was one of our reporters reporting on the curfew in Montreal. During that time, he received multiple tickets, not only for being out during the curfew, but also for some other instances as jaywalking, mask, and also making noise with the vehicle. So the police officer in the case of Mr. Polak did show up today in time and fully dressed as a police officer. He did give his side of the story, mentioning that Mr. Polak didn't follow the order, and he also mentioned that Mr. Polak did make many noise with the engine of his vehicle, doing some disturbance of the neighborhood. But you need to know that when all this happened, it was about 9:30 at night, and Mr. Polak is come from this same neighborhood, so he is aware that some family and children were around. We will keep an eye on what is going on. I want you to hear Mr. Polak's opinion of what happened today, and I will also show you an instance with the lawyer of Mr. Polak to give you an update on the situation. So I'm currently with Amélie Levasseur. She is the lawyer of Yankee Polak, and she's here for giving us an update of what happened today about the multiple tickets that Mr. Polak did receive during the curfew. So can you explain a little bit what happened today?
Today was the end of the trial, so we had the cross-examination of the police officer, and we had the interrogation of Mr. Polak and his cross as well, and we pleaded at the end with the Crown. So the trial for today is closed, and the judge is gonna decide if Mr. Polak is declared guilty or acquitted on April 4th.
What did you think about both of the argument from the policeman, but also Yankee Polak?
Well, I think today Mr. Polak had the occasion to give his version of what happened, so that's good for him because it's been almost 2 years since the day that he got his first statement of offense. So yeah, he had the occasion to say what happened.
In total, what is the charge that Yankee Polak have for all the tickets?
It's about $200 for the 4 tickets that he had.
But thank you very much for giving us an update. So we will see probably each other on
April 4th.
Hi, how are you?
I'm gonna need the driving license because you're the engine of the vehicle.
Normal,
The engine was revolutioning too high.
That's
And you were rolling very fast.
No, it
And
wasn't.
you did the U-turn.
You're
on a
allowed
place
to do
that
U-turn.
It's forbidden.
No, you're allowed to do a U-turn over there. This street, you're not allowed
No,
to.
you're not allowed to do. And so, do you have the papers of the vehicle too?
It's in the car.
Do you have the papers of the vehicle?
I want to go see my uncle's dog.
Sir, let's go to the car. I'm gonna ask you for the piece of.
Come on, you're gonna do
paper
this
of
to
the car.
me?
Well,
Why are you doing this?
You did an
Why are you
infraction.
I didn't do an infraction. I'm allowed
Yes,
to do a
of course,
U-turn
sir.
over there.
Sir, listen.
It wasn't an infraction.
Do you have the paper of the car?
It's in the car.
So let's go in the car. Let's get the car.
I will start with my first question. What did you think about what happened today? Like, what did you heard from the police officer?
From the police officer, I heard him not saying facts or facts that happened on the ground. I have the videos. You could see them. What he said, like, oh, I gave him tickets because he went off the sidewalk. And it's like, I only went off the sidewalk after he took my papers and told me he's going to give me a ticket because he was annoyed at my questions and he asked me for my papers. And I went to the car to speak with him, ask him how long it takes to write a ticket or how long he's going to hold my paperwork for. And every time he told me, go back to the sidewalk, I did. And it was a back and forth, like it was 40 minutes. So yeah, I went 2 or 3 times to speak with him and try to see what's going on. And he decided that is not only a jaywalking, which I was walking on the street where the cops blocked the street. So there was no cars there, it was blocked up.
Are you proud of your job?
Sir.
Are you proud of your job?
Don't ask me any question, okay?
I'm allowed to ask.
Because actually,
I'm allowed to ask.
that's okay. You're pressed.
I'm allowed to ask
That's
you.
okay. You're pressed. But now, if you ask me questions, you're entrapping my question.
I'm not.
So let me do my job, okay?
You're not speaking to him, they are.
Let me do my job.
What is your job? Tell me what your job is.
Give me a paper that allows you to be outside right now.
Sure,
And I'm gonna ask you a piece of ID too.
sure.
Because actually you are entrapping my.
I am
my
not.
work.
He was speaking to
I'm
them.
trying to do my job.
What is your job? I asked you what your
No
job
reason
is.
to ask me any question, okay?
I saw other people going through
If you are really impressed, you can ask for our service. That ask for.
No, I asked you. I asked you. You weren't busy with him. I have it on video.
You have no question.
I did. I asked, what are you doing here?
You exactly know
Here.
what we're doing.
No, take
Do you have a
it.
piece of?
Yeah,
do you have a
take
piece
it.
of ID too?
I'm gonna give you an ID, whatever you want. You don't like answering questions. That's not a crime for me to
You know
ask.
the question. You know the answer. You know everything.
No, I'm asking you for an answer. If you don't want to answer, that's fine. You're,
Like 4 months that
you're
you're
embarrassed by the answer. That's why you want to give me a ticket, because you're embarrassed by it.
Ik heb dat ook mooi. Spreekt ze met taal.
What is there? What is the paper that?
That's for my lawyer. If you're going to harass me, I'll sue you. That's what it says. And that's the curfew letter. So if you want to harass me, no problem. Go ahead. I'll sue you. Each and every one of you.
Okay, sir.
What is your name?
You will be able to sue me.
What's your name and badge number?
You will have this on the paper.
So why don't you give it to me?
Go back on the sidewalk.
Failing to obey, because apparently if I ask him a question and he said don't ask questions, that's failing to obey. It's ridiculous. And then revving of the engine, he's like, oh, I saw a car that might have been him, and then I saw it again, and I think it was, I didn't lose that line of sight, but it made so much noise, and it's a small SUV. Starting up my Ram 1500 makes more noise than that car could ever make, even if someone is revving the engine. It's like, that car is a small car, small engine. It's not loud. He's obviously being picky. He didn't like me. He admitted in knowing that I was the guy from the night before, and he didn't admit that he just wanted to give me another ticket. That's my opinion. He just was like, this guy again, let me give him another ticket, because why not? He gave me 4 tickets in total in 3 nights. 3 of them were tried today, because one is a mask ticket, and that is in criminal court. So that is a different matter, different time, different judge.
So the ticket that I'm giving to you, okay, just for you
Okay.
to know, to understand, this is an infraction. It exists. It exists. It's
Okay.
a real infraction, okay?
Yeah, you
So
didn't make
I'm
it
gonna,
up, I'm
I'm
sure.
gonna read it in English, okay?
Okay.
So you will be able to know it. See?
Yeah, they don't
So
like
it's
me.
it's having made noise by operating the motor of a road vehicle at high revolution.
Okay, and how much is that
Okay?
ticket?
You will be able to read it, okay? So
Okay.
it's your ticket. You have 30 days to contest it,
Okay,
and that's it.
Can-
So hey, next time, just okay.
yeah.
Be
Okay,
Be safe,
I'm gonna
okay?
ask you a question.
Madame, bonjour madame. Ça va bien? Oui.
The three matters were a jaywalking ticket, failing to obey ticket, same instance, and a ticket for the next night for revving of the engine. There was one more ticket that was actually heard. Which day was it? It was the 15th, I believe, or the 16th, when I was still in Montreal. That was another jaywalking ticket I received at a different night from a different police officer. And the ruling will come out all in the same time on April 4th, 2 months from now.
They they were saying that you were almost accusing him that he was targeting the Jew community. Can you just explain a little bit, like what you saw during reporting, and especially that night, because you were explaining that people were going out of the synagogue?
Shabbat just finished here in Montreal, and this is what's going on here in this city. Bunch of bigoted cops are showing up here, all these bigots here, showing up and harassing Jews. This is what's been happening for weeks and months, but tonight it's next level. Check this out, check this out. This is an outrage, and the whole weekend it was like this.
It's clear to me that Jews were targeted during the curfew. It wasn't every night per se, but it was 5 months. And in that 5 months, there were definitely days that it was very clear that the Outremont community, the Hasidic community, was targeted. I know that because I was there. A normal night, I grew up there. There's barely any cops in that area. It's a safe neighborhood. They don't come around. There's been issues with car theft for months there. And guess what? The cops don't show up most of the time. They're not there. They don't care. But when it was curfew, they were there. And when they came, it was clearly targeted. They came, they sat in front of synagogues, 10, 15 police cars sometimes, waited for Jews. It's very targeted. And the numbers don't lie either. The numbers show that Outremont was the most ticketed neighborhood in all of Montreal when it came to the curfew. The CBC did a story on that. And we also, I rewrote that article and showed it when it happened. It's clear that it was targeted. And that night particularly, I was able to film Jews being stopped while non-Jews were just let go. And again, I said it in that video, I believe it. I believe everyone should be let go. But when it's a clear targeting, I'm going to call it out. And Officer Etienne didn't like that. He didn't like me asking questions that was like, some of them were maybe a bit rhetorical, like, are you proud of your job? Sure. Like, I didn't expect an answer, but I'm allowed to ask that question. And I don't think he was, or maybe he was and was afraid to say yes. Asking why he's targeting Jews. Don't like it? Don't answer. I didn't force you to answer. He's the guy with a gun over there. He's the guy that after I annoyed him was like, you could sue me. I'm going to give you tickets. He didn't think I'm going to go fight $50 tickets in court. Well, guess what? I'm not me. I work for Rebel News. We have viewers, and our viewers want justice. Our viewers want the truth, and they will not stand for us being harassed, and they want us in court, and they help us going to court and fighting these tickets. And the tickets, tickets that were being heard today were a total of $300. There's other tickets, it's a total of $15,000. They're all targeted tickets. They were trying to stop me and Rebel News from doing our job, showing you the other side of the story. And that's what essentially it was. It was them trying to stop the truth of getting out.
Can you explain to the viewer what is important for Rebel News to fight the ticket, whatever the cost it is, same if it's like $49 ticket, why is it important to fight all of them?
Because the ticket isn't about the money. The ticket is about trying to shut down free speech, freedom of expression, and trying to shut down freedom in Canada altogether. During COVID, they kept saying this is not essential, that is not essential, and almost everyone complied, and all of the media party did. They didn't show up, didn't report on the curfew. What they used to do is they used to come out with, the police department used to tweet every week, oh, we gave 100 tickets this week, 500 tickets this week. And the media would go, oh, according to the police, 500 people received a ticket. Yay. But you didn't speak to these people. You didn't ask them why they were out. Some people that received tickets were heading home from the hospital and they still got tickets. Some people were heading home from studying. 2 exemptions. Some people were on the way to work or home from work. They also got tickets. People got tickets with valid reasons to be out. Some of them judges threw out, and others no. Sometimes the judges didn't throw them out, even with people with valid excuses. And someone had to go out there and show the other side of the story. Almost nobody did. Rebel News did. And from Rebel News, we sent, Efron, Lincoln, Mocha, who else was there? Sid, David Menzies, you were there, Guillaume was there. At different times, right? Not everyone at the same time, but to show what's really going on in lockdowns and especially curfew. And someone had to do it. And that doing it got the police, the government angry, and they tried stopping it. So we cannot allow just them throwing tickets at you. We have to fight it and show them, no, you were wrong. And if it's a $49 ticket that nobody will fight and you just admit guilt by default by paying it, no, I will not do that. I will not admit guilt for asking questions from police officers that he didn't like. So he's going to give me a ticket knowing that no normal person will fight it in court? No, he should know not to do it again, because he will have to show up in court on his day off, and he will have to testify, and he will have to remember what he did, and he will have to live with that. And that's what I think is important. We need to fight every single ticket just to show them, no, you cannot do this. Canada is a free country, and we need to keep that safe. We need to keep Canada a free country, and that's part of fighting all these fines. I know it looks like, oh, it's only $49. Well, the total is $15,000. That's a lot of money, and I cannot afford that. That's only because Rebel promised to take care of that, of all my fines, and Rebel relies on our viewers to do it. And I know our viewers want us to go fight these fines. They want the truth, and they don't want our freedoms to be taken away. And you could see all of the stories at lockdownreports.com, our upcoming documentary about Montreal in general, the curfew, and also the boat raid. lockdownreports.com, and you could also make a donation there to help fund this fight, fund the documentary, because we can't just let this go. It's 2 years ago. People are forgetting. People are like, oh, COVID was so long ago. No, we cannot just let this happen and go away. We need to remember what happened and fight it so it never happens again. We cannot just allow lockdowns and curfews to just be the new normal whenever the government decides.
What is your feeling for the 4th of April?
I think we put a good case, and I think I'll win. If there's justice, I will win. I did nothing wrong in all these instances. It was targeted, and justice hopefully will prevail. I think it will.
So we'll see what happened on the 4th of April, but we will be there to tell our viewer what is the update about your situation. Thank you for jumping up and tell you your opinion of what happened today.
Thank you, Alexa, and thanks for being there. I know stuff. I know it's minus 36 or something today, and you nearly froze to death going there. So thank you for being there. I was there via Zoom, but thanks for being there, and thanks for making sure that our viewers know what's going on. And just, people need to know that we can't let this go. So thank you for being there, and thank you for our viewers for helping in this fight. It's an expensive fight, but an important fight.
So the decision was not making today. It was postponed to the 4th of April, 2023. We will be there. We will update you on the result of the ticket of Mr. Polak. Stay tuned. So many tickets have been given during the pandemic, either free during the protests than during the curfew. And also, our journalists did receive multiple ones. So if you want to fight all these tickets, go to lockdownreports.com and you can chip in whatever you can so that will make a difference. Thank you.